Then engineering. Engineering is defined as a creative application of scientific principles to design and develop structures, machines, etc. Apparatus, process of works utilizing them singly or in combination, or to construct or operate the same with full cognizance of their designs, or to forecast their behavior under specific operation conditions. So all as respect in intended function, economics or operation of or safety to the life and property. Engineering therefore is about transforming science into useful product for human comfort. Engineering is something that engineers do, and what they do has profound effects on others. Ethics in engineering then is the ability as well as responsibility of an engineer to judge his decisions from the context of the general well-being of the society. It is the study of moral issue that confront engineers and engineering organization when some crucial decisions are taken. That is the most important. Then is the ability as well as responsibility of an engineer to judge this decision from the context of the general well-being of the society. So our whole primary objective was always to develop the society as nation. It is the study of more issues that confront engineers and engineering organization when some crucial decisions are. So then we will see the what is the professional ethics. So normally quite what to call in the B paper most of the times we are asking what is the professional ethics. So I think as a young engineers you must be well aware about the professional ethics. So now we will see then what is the professional ethics. Professional ethics profession is a commitment to a designated and organized occupation by virtue of being an authority over a body of knowledge with requisite skills required to the specialized training. So now you all are getting the specialized training, maybe civil, maybe elect, maybe mechanical, building services, I like that. And occupation becomes a profession. When occupation becomes professional, when a group of people sharing the same occupation work together in a morally acceptable way, with members setting and following the certain ethics code. So that's what these ethics codes are common for all of us, whether you are civil engineer, whether you mechanical engineer, or electrical engineer, production engineer, or building service engineer, or electronic engineer. So it is common. The professional is the practitioner belong to the specific profession. The professional is practitioner belong to specific. So since I am the civil engineer, I am belong to civil profession, like that. Professional ethics as opposed to the personal values and morality is a set of ethical standards and values a practicing engineer is required to follow. That is the most important. Professional ethics as opposed to personal values and morality. It is the set of ethics, standards and values as specified as practicing engineer is required to follow. It sets the standard of professional practice and is only learned in a professional school, maybe from the university or IESL, where practicing one's own profession. So like that we are learning from the when you work with the young senior engineers, you are learning all the professional activities. So ethics engineering. What is the ethics engineering? It is most important. Ethics is engineering then is the ability to as well as responsibility of an engineer to judge his decision from the context of general well-being of the society. Our prime objective is to serve the generation, society. Therefore, if the public is in well-being, so we also satisfied. It is the study of moral issues that confront engineers and engineering organizations when some crucial decisions are taken. So like in the most of the time. So in recently in power sector, there are crucial decisions are taken. So then they study moral issues and confront engineers and engineering organization, right? So then that's what the ethics are most important. Engineering research and practice require that the task being performed consider all the pros and cons of a certain action and implementation. The professional engineering bodies like IESL, IEEE, ASME, IEI, etc. have evolved comprehensive ethics code relevant to their respective profession based on the rich experience of their members. Actually, this code of ethics actually generated and drafted by our senior engineers with their experience. Independent organizations like NSP have prepared value-based ethical codes applicable to all engineering professions. Teaching engineering ethics in academic institutions like universities is undertaken largely through the many countries. Then professional ethics. What is the professional ethics? Actually, normally we are during the section B, most of the time we are asking the professional, what is the professional ethics? So I think sometimes our young engineers forget the give the exact answer, but it is better to you understand this thing and get ready with that. Professional is a commitment, right? Commitment to a designated and organized occupation by virtue of being an authority over a body of knowledge with requisite skills and acquired through the specialized training. An occupation becomes the profession when a group of people sharing the same occupation work together in a morally acceptable way with members setting the and following the certain ethics code, as we mentioned earlier also. A professional is a practitioner belong to the specific profession. Professional ethics, or as opposed to the personal values and morality, as I mentioned earlier, is set the standard of professional practice, as mentioned earlier. Today, it is essential part of the profession education because it helps the students deal with the issues and they will face. The scope of professional ethics involves diverse activities like engineering as a social requirement, engineering responsibility for today, safety, role of engineer, managers and consultant, etc., right of engineers, moral reasoning and ethical theories, responsibility to employees, global issues and concerns. All these things are interconnected with the professional ethics. So they must be performed under standard of professional behavior that require the adherence to the highest principle of ethical conduct. All professional engineers, while discharged of their professional duties, shall follow the, as IESL members, IESL Code of Ethics. Apart that, Engineering Council Sri Lanka also declared 6 important ethical issues almost similar to IESL Code of Ethics. You know this, 2017 we passed our Engineering Council Bill. Therefore, Engineering Council Council also have certain responsibility to follow the ethical conduct. So, ethics and engineer, that is the other important subject. Ethics is an integral part of the profession life, and in particular the life of an engineering profession. Professional engineer has specialized skill and knowledge, right? Then once you become a chartered engineer, you have liberty to practice independently, sign the document independently. Otherwise, you have to your senior must be signed what you have done. Has acquired such knowledge and skill through the long period of training and study, and continue to maintain and update them through the out professional life. So you are spending 4 years in the university, and then to at least to get the professional qualification, you must have 48 months mandatory requirement in the work in the field in a different section, like design, miscellaneous designs, 1 year, and then construction, and as a manager. Like that, at least 48 months you have to spend in the industry. As a result of the specialized expertise, significant power to affect individual, client, and wider society. Belong to the professional body IESL, which regulate their practice. So belong to the professional body IESL, which regulate their practice, and as part of that, self-regulations adheres to the ethical principle which the professional's body oversees. So now, once you have the engineering ethics, engineering standard are defined, you without any hesitation you can practice your engineering independently in the field. That's what you have to get through the professional review exam and pass the professional review. So it is part of the BPAP, is the part of the professional. Then it is some people are asking what is the professional ethics. So now we have come to the professional ethics. Professional ethics are principles that govern the behavior of a person or group in the business environment. We have to understand, like values, professional ethics provide rules on how a person should act toward their other people and institutions in such an environment. So therefore, everything is defined. Therefore, as you want independently, even though you are after become chartered engineer, you can independently work. You can do the design and create works and like, but you have to within the ethical conduct is most essential. The professional ethics encompasses the personal and corporate standard of behavior expected by the professionals such as engineers, doctors, lawyers. So except all the professionals have certain type of conduct. So therefore, you all have to adhere to same way, because about your work, others should not criticize, and you have to, as an example, set the follow your seniors, as well as you have trained the young engineers. Professionals and those working in acknowledged profession exercise specialist knowledge and skill. So how the use of this knowledge should be governed when providing service to the public can be considered a moral issue in terms of professional ethics. That is the most you can remember, how the use of knowledge should be governed when providing the service to the public can be considered a moral issue and termed professional ethics. In capable of making judgment, applying their skill, and reaching informed decisions in situations that the general public cannot become, they have not attained the necessary knowledge and skill. One of the earliest examples of professional ethics is the Hippocratic oath to the medical doctors, is still adhered to this date. Like that, engineering also, there is once you pass out, you have to give the oath as a professional engineer, how you going to perform the engineering in the industry, benefit of society. Then the ethical conduct for the engineering profession as declared by the IESL, Engineering Council of Sri Lanka. So they also have certain responsibility among the maintained standard, among ethical standard among the engineers. So these things are this thing I think you can go through it and understand. Then engineer ethics, ethical violation, senior engineers and junior engineers. A professional engineer should have balanced knowledge on both technical matters as well as engineering ethics. Engineers who work neglecting ethics create additional problems to society. Engineers who work neglecting engineering ethics create the additional problems to society. I think I don't have to elaborate this, but everybody to understand, if you are doing the ethical job, people will appreciate. Otherwise, you will also get problem and general public agitating about your work. There are a lot of examples of engineering works related to tragedies happened as a result of neglecting engineering ethics by engineering in the decision-making process. So now, for example, in the partly during the water crisis last month, so some people blame the engineers. So they because they are not taken, what they blame is engineers are not taken a proper decision. So like that, there are always criticisms are there. So if you are working with as a team, so these things can be minimized. Hyatt Regency Hotel workway collapse, Colombo, Union Carbide accident in Bothwell are most suitable example. The present practice is, instead of discuss the disaster analysis, the case by case in teaching. So then actually now most of the institutions, they are not wish to discuss the what you call this disaster, man-made disaster, because engineer. So but this what you call this most of the engineering ethics can be practiced and developed by studying case by case. So that is the most important. So I know that I can remember that some people when we start engineering said that if the engineer made the mistakes, that is belong to the monument. But doctor made the mistake that didn't go on the patient, then that's the end. But not now. It is quite different. Fundamental right cases and things are there. Actually, IESL code of ethics, the people, that is the code of clause 1 is describe your responsibility to the people. In the clause number 2, honor and provision, that is belong to your quality, personal quality, dishonesty, association, integrity, merit, and recognition. These things are sub-clauses of the clause number 2. So those things have to be keep in your mind, because in the questions we are asking, I think my experience is now most of the engineers are just some engineers are very well they can write down and remind that, but some engineers are not coming through this section. So therefore this you have to, then the clause 3 is the sustainability. So this is it is mentioned that environmental protection, cooperation, minimize reuse of waste and safety, safe disposal, and conservation. So this is also part of the clause 3. So this environmental cooperation, minimize and reuse of the waste and safe disposal, conservation, these are the sub clauses. Then the IESL code of ethics clause number 4, it is your own achievement is described. Bribery, you must be free of bribery. Attempt to supplant, undercutting. So supplant means the undercutting. So you should not undercut your subordinates and as well as your seniors, like that. Then misrepresentative. So some people representing as a chartered engineer, but he does not have the charter, but he is misrepresenting. The malicious talks. So criticizing the others' works and jealously. Connections. Then modesty and acknowledge honesty. Those things are close to as described in the sub clause of the clause number clause number 4. Clause number 5, it says the competence and honesty. The competence means specialization. You are specialized in the civil law, mechanical, electrical, building service, or electronics. But when you are specialized in that section, you will even though you have the knowledge and knowledge, you can't practice the other sections. So specialization. So according to your competence, you have to practice, and honesty. So it is not misuse for other things. So I think I don't want to elaborate these things, because as the engineers in the field, you know our people are making lot. Then the IESL code of ethics clause number 6 is the very very important. Most of the time we are asking from the questions, loyalty, right? Loyalty, then neutrality, gratuity, integrity, bribery, connection, confidential, integrity. So some functions are repeating in the other clauses also. So you are keeping with that in mind. So you know this clause number 6, sub clause number 6 is also bribery. So like that. Then other earlier also I mentioned. Therefore these things have to be keep in your mind when you answer the IESL. Then IESL code of number 7. It is clause number 7. It is the truthfulness, precise and knowledge. You all when you do the designs or something, it should be precise and knowledge, with the knowledge. So then honesty. So those things are, I think, not necessarily elaborate, but thing is that these two sub clauses are under clause number 7 describe the precise and knowledge and honesty. Final one is the clause number 8. Earlier IESL 9 codes. Clauses, now it is process number 8. So the lifelong learning. So actually CPD, continuous professional development. So that means that as an engineer you have to always you have to improve your knowledge. So now in the involvement. So not only your CPD, but you have to encourage the other your subordinates to do the CPD programs and enhance their knowledge. Actually, unless you are not develop your knowledge, you can't practice in the field. So now you know this as we are old people. During nowadays, there are very few packages, programs for designs. But now you know that when young engineers are very familiar with that, and there are a lot of packages. So even the hydrological analysis earlier we are doing by hand, but now you know there is a packages are there. So therefore those knowledge you have to must be acquired. So once you become the in according to the Washington code, now this is what you call this engineering engineers. So they will become, they are able to become the international professional engineer. So it is the mandate requirement to once you become a professional engineer, every when you renew your membership in international professional engineer, you have to follow the minimum number of CPD courses during that period. So that means you are encouraging to learn continuously. So these things are how to keep. In the meantime, as a senior engineer, you must always encourage other engineers to improve their knowledge. In the meantime, sit for the professional review and get the chartered as a chartered engineer to independently work. All those things have to be your responsibility. Then, therefore, young graduates should practice starting from their beginning period to believe ethically and make ethical decisions in their professional practice. Engineer knowledge is not sufficient to improve the welfare of the society, but their engineering works. Therefore, engineers should incorporate those ethical concepts in their lives. Engineers should have developed their skill to identify and resolve the moral problems associated with their professional works. So, this is actually, I think, I should not elaborate all those things. As a young engineers, you are working in the industry, you are come across the certain these things, even the road construction, even irrigation construction. So therefore, always actually you have to work with the ethical conduct to work the society. Now for the irrigation sector, now actually most of the irrigation sector decisions are taken by the participation of the end user, that means farmers. Even the water board also, they are actually always thinking about how to deliver the water to the houses, those who are the end users. So without wasting the water and without disturbance, and very conveniently to supply. So then very recently this I also come across this, these are some research papers are not published, some published, but I understand that out of 8 ethical, it is done by this survey done by the university students for their project. So they find out that 50% of senior engineers are violating the clause number 1, right? Engineers shall hold paramount health, safety, welfare of the public and proper utilization of the funds and other resources. So this clause number 1. Then other thing is further about 30% engineers are not continuing their professional development and shall actively assist and encourage engineers under their direction to advance their knowledge and experience. Those things are highlighted in some papers. So that means you know this as a when you practice the IESL ethics, you have to always help the young engineers for then further it's understand 13% of engineers, clause number 6, corruption, bribery and other things. So engineers shall apply their skill and knowledge in the interest of the employer or client, for which shall act as a professional matter. So now like that, clause 6 is the most important. Everything is included. So then some people are violating directly. About 5% engineers, clause 2, engineers shall always act in the manner as to uphold the enhance the honor, etc. So that is the another one. Then some senior engineers are responsible for most of the identical ethical violation. So actually, when you are senior engineer, you should not encourage the young engineers, but discourage to violate the IESL code of ethics. Therefore, all the engineers must be very familiar and keep there in the mind all. Then sometimes not insisting to contractors, subordinates to implement a safety procedure. Right? The public faces inconvenience due to the non-environmental protection. This supervision on engineers leave the site before work is completed. So sometimes when you concrete are moving, so you are leaving, keeping allowing the contractor to do as well. That is not the way. Some senior engineers use site laborers and machineries for their private work. I know them very recently. One young engineer, they left the country. One engineer told me that he is especially leaving because of he can't sign the what to call it, CR and other things for make the payment for the his superiors home garden or houses or estates, something like that. Some senior engineers not extend their support to advance their knowledge and experience, but finding the shortfalls of the young engineers. So another thing is, so senior engineers always we have duty to respect our young engineers and encourage them to get their professional knowledge. So some people are not helping us, not helping them. So we also had the same problem sometimes. Those things I don't want to elaborate those things. That is the way. So always you have to look after your young engineers as your. Then in some places assign the mechanical work to civil engineering with extra payment, while young MEs are available in the house. So that is the common phenomena in the various places. Some places young engineers have alternative novel proposals for burn issues, but not given time to even to listen to him and press to implement his subordinate people. So these things are, in the management problem there is. So now especially I come across some irrigation department, some young engineers are very creative. So therefore, when we allow them to do it as they like, then they will do a very good job. So no problem to us. But we as a traditional practitioner, we should not try to advise them. So young engineers, so we are very close to the young farmers, as well as they are creative. They want to do the good things in the field. So therefore we must allow them to work as. Then the signing and sealing of engineering design notes and drawings without checking in all fundamental issue related to practice of engineer. Sometimes this other our people, some like maybe our craftsmen, and they are also sometimes drawing the drawings, and so they put it the reinforcement other things, and then anyhow for the town council and divisional Pradhi Sabha to get the approval from the building design, the young engineer, what you call chartered engineer, should be signed. So sometimes your drawings and calculation done by somebody else. Without knowing whether it is correct or not, you are just putting signature. Some people are keeping the seal with the clerk at office premises. Once they bring that, put the seal and sign it, so like that. So we should not practice something. There are malpractices are there. The signatures and seal on a set of engineering design notes or drawings as an indication that signing and sealing engineer is taking personal and professional responsibility for the content of work. So that once you sign this thing, that means you are taking the personal responsibility. There are a lot of court cases also that I can remember. Most of the time, the court is requesting from the IESL to define who is the chartered structural engineer, chartered civil engineer, because with that signature they are inquiring what is happened, like that. So it was found that unethical for engineers to seal engineering document not prepared by him. So therefore if you are not prepared this design and not prepared the document plans and drawings, you can get it your subordinate to draw it, but thing is you are responsible, so you should not sign. Engineers hold paramount health, safety and welfare of the public and proper utilization of funds and other resources, and engineers shall continue their professional development and shall actively assist and encourage engineers under their direction to advance their knowledge and experience are two processes of code of ethics of IESL predominantly violated by senior engineers and other responsible agencies. So that's you are always have to look into your young engineers and subordinates as your brothers and sisters, and so unethical act of senior engineers may be adopted by junior engineers. Once senior engineers are doing the unethical behavior, then youngs also they will follow same thing. Further research can investigate deeply about these issues. So these things are actually further can be issued. I think gradually I think young engineers can change this. So system changing like that. During the annual induction ceremony of new corporate members of IESL give the oath reading IESL code of ethics, and that is the practice during this career. So those things are introduced by the IESL to encourage the young engineers to practice So at a conclusion, what I have say, one of the intention of the framing IESL ethics is to give some impression of the range and complexity of ethical issues faced by the engineers. All 8 ethics are interconnected. Engineering is a broad discipline, and the case studies cannot encompass all the ethical issues that an engineer might face. Engineers are invited to take a more active role in the ethical life of the profession. That is the reason the professional ethics are practicing through the professional bodies such as IESL. Ethics is not a set of rules and that can be learned and take granted. No, it is simple framework that can be applied to problems or to make them disappear. Engaging with ethical question is a sufficient and difficult ongoing process that requires awareness, reasoning of skill, imagination, and the ability to scrutinize and evaluate your opening as well as those others. It is set skill, abilities, and character traits that can be developed by practice. Developing is not only necessary, how it is rewarding, enlightening, then confidence